I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking today. I just kind of want to get into this. I only have about an hour. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm just going to be pulling issues from GitHub and solving them. And I'm not going to make much commentary. Hope you enjoy. say it out loud. All geometric functions should input and output a byte array. That's the array of pegs on the board, including their colors and whether or not they're there. The resulting byte array should be given to a different drawing library. I guess drawing might not be the right word, but the entire thing is the drawing library. This would be the rendering library. Yeah. You can't have drawing without rendering, otherwise you haven't drawn anything, I guess. All of that to say that I think that this might be better suited as a function. Maybe. Let's see. We'll be creating a new circle, and we'll be passing in the current byte array. Or we're talking about the board that has the byte array, and we can now draw circles on it. But what's the relationship of the actual circle? The circle is just a function. The circle is just a function. I feel like the circle is a function, and that takes a byte array in all of its dimensions and all of that stuff, and it will manipulate the byte array to add a circle to it. Simple, right? Alright. Basically means we have to restart this. So let's rename this to shapes. And what we're going to say is all shape functions like circle, add circle, will receive a byte array dimensions, and I can't read what the hell it says there. Yeah, position, and colors. It's not meant to be capped, but whatever. And will return a byte array with the shape added. Pretty simple. There's no need to complicate it. This is a core module too. It doesn't require any dependencies at all. That doesn't seem right. Let's go with this angle step. Where does that count come from in that context? Count. All right. Yeah, looks more like what we wanted. want this to be colors instead of color. Not random. I think random or sequential is probably a good idea. I think that random will be a good option here. Random colors. And then we'll do let color index equals random colors, question mark. Bring this down for readability. And if it's random colors, then we'll pick a random color. Then if not, then we'll modulo the current iterator by the color's length to get the sequential color that we're picking. Simple, right? And then the last thing that we do is we mutate the byte array, but I don't know. Nope. So the byte array is a 1D array, in theory, and we know the dimensions of it. But do we know the dimensions of it here? Is that the problem? Yeah, I don't think we do. Here we'll have to import some of our geometry stuff to know that. Num rows and num columns specifically. And when we are drawing the shape, oh, that was the wrong place. I'll just cut that over. When we are drawing the shape, I guess we have two options. We do have a position, so we can derive the x and the y from the position. I mean, the position of it is just x plus y, isn't it? Right? Right, yeah, like if I have a 10 by 10 array, the 1 down, 1 over position, that's going to be 21, right? Or something like that. 20. Pretty sure that's it. So byte array what the hell is that doing? Isn't it just x plus y? I think that's it. And it's not color 0. Copilot's doing some weird stuff. I think Copilot's out to get me at this point. It says, no, I need you to slow down. You're going a little bit too fast. Add point. Yeah. I'm just going to keep it simple with those for now. And I guess I don't need those after all. So I got add circle and add point. These are analogous to the add circle of lights and add light that I had earlier. So now we have to make rendering or something. We have a circle. In theory, circle is not an object. It's a geometric shape. When we give it light, what are we doing to it? We're rendering it. So I'm wondering if that kind of function belongs on renderer, like render shape or render byte array. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so on our renderer, first of all, I guess on main.js we need a global function here. We have one here called pegboard. I'm wondering if is that something that we could use for this. So we have init pegboard that comes from scene, doesn't it? It should come from scene, right? Casing. Oh, we have a casing JS. Okay, cool. Okay, all that is a 3D object. It contains no logic. So, yeah, I'm cool with continuing down this path of adding the byte array to here. But we need to think of something better to call it than just byte array, because, I mean, byte array is a little too generic. Why don't we call it, arrangement? But it's going to be an object like that we're going to maintain. There's some functions right now that I'm thinking of that we have to get rid of right now. And one of them is the well, they both are this one, and this one. And I think that should be enough right now, just as long as we're disabling it. I don't want to get too far in the weeds while having errors. So, okay, yeah, we got disabled the function. No errors as of now. We haven't really done anything, so I think we're in a good spot. So we've got our arrangement here. And essentially what we're going to need to do is every time somebody clicks, we're going to need to change the arrangement. That's what's happening in the shapes functions. Changes the arrangement. And then after the arrangement is changed, then the entire board will be drawn. And we'll see how that goes. So, I think what I'll do is I'll take the add light function and I'll move it somewhere else because I think it's taking on new legs here. And we'll need this dependent function that it depends on to come with us. Right. And we've got scene and set. So this really is where the scene is manipulated to add a light. So I'm thinking that I'll move these functions to scene before I go. Looks like we're not using this anywhere, but there's a lot of functions that call this add light function, so we're just going to comment them out for now. See if there are any more, because it is quite, let's see, it's passed in here, but that's fine because in the abstract it's not harmful. Okay, hover light, show preview, add light. I think we're good. Yeah, that's in the abstract. That is also in the abstract. That is not in the abstract, so we do need to get rid of that. Because it'll say that the function is undefined. And I think that will cause a syntax error, compilation error, something like that, to where it won't let the code continue. Versus if it is passed in as undefined, then it will throw a runtime error and it won't let the code continue from that point. Okay, so on our scene we want to go ahead and add the add light function. Do I have it clipboarded? Did I just get rid of it? No, it's here, right? I guess I just got rid of it very carelessly. Alright. This is what I wanted. I probably just cut it out, forgot about it, and then moved on. Okay. So I'm sure that there's some stuff missing here. Whatever. One thing I know though is that these okay, so this pegs is something that's gonna have to be copied too. Alright, hold on. I'll copy that too. I don't think it has any more meaning here. And then the light preview, that's something else. I don't know how we're gonna deal with that. Given this, that might have to be outside of this system. We'll figure it out. No, I don't make any changes there. I made changes to scene. And I just need this. Let pegs. And, where we're binding our click event, which would be events.js to be fair, we'll need to do the process I mentioned earlier. Take the byte array, which by the way we need to initialize. So, byte array is probably not the right word we need to be using going forward. We're going to say init arrangement. I don't think we need to do this actually, because we're capable of checking to see if it's undefined, and I think that's good enough. But I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, we probably do want to initialize the array, because like let's say that our first point is at the end of the array, and now all of a sudden in runtime we need to make an array that is of that length. I just think that would be a little bit silly. So the num rows is what we need from geometries. So from events, we can begin to import that over into main. Yep. And instead of this, that's an interesting way of doing that. That's making a 2D array. Yeah, we don't really. Yeah, I don't want that. I like this syntax of assigning things back to the global like this. Like that. There we go. Except it's not push. It's building a giant object, which I think has pretty much the same performance. Alright, so we're initializing our arrangement here. And next thing we need to do is create like a click to add shape function in general. But I think the next thing we need to do actually is do like, we have a selected shape, and why don't we create an array of shapes here? Or let's do that on our shapes.js. If there were a way to iterate through these functions, that would be pretty cool. But instead what we're going to do is we're going to create an array mapping of I guess we'll just create an array of shapes. I think we can give it that function so that when we are, you know, specifying that we want the circle, then we are targeting that function, add circle. I think this will work. Logically, point should be first because it's, you know, if there's any kind of ordering, it should be something. So why not, you know, information, order it by how information intensive it is. Why not? Alright, so now we can export these. Like so, I believe. And that gives us the functions and the function name. So with that, what we can do is back over on main.js and say, actually we need to, before we forget, on our functions, we need to do shapes here. Right. And then back over here, we need to import, not that. I have that here. Why would it think I need to? Anyway. Alright, so bright light shapes, we just need shapes. Alright, so for the shapes, we have now, what we're going to have is a selected shape. And so when we start the game, first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to target a drop down like this one. and give it a value just for default. And actually, this should be a select, unless there's a new input type that I'm not familiar with. I don't think there is. Yeah, so point will be the... Yeah, we'll just hard code them right now, right? Point and circle are the only things we're offering right now. Make that a little bit neater. Break it out like this too. There we go. I think I like that. So we have circle and point. And just for sanity's sake, let's check and make sure that that's on the page. Uh-oh. Can't do bright light geometries in shapes. No. Doesn't tell me where it is, which is super annoying. And I'm worried that that's not even the right error. Okay, well, maybe I don't need it somehow. Let's see. Shapes is not defined in module in shapes.js. Yeah, we need to add this as const shapes. Num columns is not defined, but that was because of our bunk geometry import, I guess. It's interesting. Num columns is not defined, and we tried using the import like we had, but I see. So I think we need to import it from bright light functions instead. Forgot about that. All right, cool. So we're back in business, not breaking anything, which is great. Let's get rid of this. Shapes. That's going to need to be something that comes from here now. We haven't really implemented it yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a function which is going to be render lights, I suppose. And I'm just going to have to think about how that's going to need to be done. So we have, I added the add light function here. I mean, I think I'm just going to move it over here, right? Just for now. Move it back over to main. And then we'll figure out the ultimate resting place of everything. And there's another one I don't want to forget about over here. Pegs. Move them out. Now I'm thinking that the arrangement can actually hold this value, which is going to be the disposable material value. And we'll need to keep it in memory because we need to dispose of it. So So our circle. All right. So all of the arrangement variables. I guess we'll work on that next, or first. First thing I want to do is click to mutate the arrangement. And the raycaster for the mouse needs to go here too. All right. So I gotta go now, but I'll be back a little later, and we'll pick up where we left off. Probably in about 4 or 5 hours when I have a lunch break on work, and we'll get this hashed out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.